it has become a phrase that is associated with other people from other countries, rather than a really positive, invisible protection for everyone every day.
I was always really cut off from human rights, didn't really associate it with myself or anyone else really, because I kind of thought it's for Amnesty UK and it's for people in third world countries, and I kind of had that association with it the whole time. I didn't really associate myself or even my family or anyone really with human rights before. Okay, let me think about someone that I know. My dad, a working man, he's been an electrician his whole life. How do human rights even affect him? That surely they don't. And then suddenly you go, wait, he went to school, he has the right to work, the right to family, the right to marriage, the right to own a home, all of that sort of stuff all connects into the different articles.
It's what makes us human. It identifies what our humanity is in terms of your life on the planet. How we should live, how we should take care of each other.
The Universal Declaration of Human Rights is about our rights, but also our responsibilities, our duty of care for other people. And ultimately, it's about equality. It's about how we all deserve those rights and dignities.
I'd never read the Universal Declaration of Human Rights from beginning to end until I was asked to become part of this project. It was, on the one side, a very inspiring experience and a very hurtful experience. Inspiring because, obviously, of all of these rights and what they mean and what they could be. And hurtful because with each one, you felt a catalogue of recent experiences, both in this country and elsewhere, in which they are routinely abused.
I was thinking on the way here about my late father, who came to the UK in the late 1950s from Nigeria to study or to restudy as a vet. He'd already qualified in Nigeria. And I remember him saying later in life that one of the reasons he came here was because he had a fundamental belief in British values and British justice. And I really wonder if he were alive now, whether he would still feel or take that for granted anymore.
You have to think about people who were fighting for the justice for the Hillsborough dead, or those killed at Deep Cut Barracks, or those killed in the dreadful Grenfell fire, or deported wrongly after settling on the Windrush. This is us. It's not other people, it's us. There's no them and us, it's all us.
Fly the Flag started to allow us to have that conversation, like how human rights has affected all of us in our family.
The week commencing the 24th of June, we had events up and down the country, all celebrating the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And it was all under the banner of a new flag designed to celebrate human rights, which we had commissioned from Ai Weiwei.
People should see that food is about taking action to defending human rights and to recognize human rights as one essential value which belongs to everybody, and we all share the same humanity.
Over 150 organisations signed up to take part, and they delivered a whole range of activities, community workshops, outdoor arts interventions, talks and panels, performances.
I got to speak to quite a lot of audience members after who were just really astounded we were putting this project on in the first place. They hadn't really heard about the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. They didn't know we were protected by a Human Rights Act. People want to know about it. People want to be able to protect themselves and each other.
Schools took part in workshops led by the education resources that we'd made, but they also created their own flags at primary age. They made their own footprints, they wrote their own declarations, they wrote about what the rights mean to them, and I suppose on some fundamental level children really get this.
Children now they've got their antennae out, they're getting to know how this world is. And if you think of climate change and what kids have been doing just recently, coming out of school and saying, no, that's enough. Part of their right is to have a clean planet, is to have clean air, and to live in a world which is not being poisoned by the people who inhabit it. They are getting to know that, and that is one of their rights.
So it also went around parts of the world, which was amazing.
The flag was being flown in Kabul, and the flag was being flown in Mexico, and the flag was being flown in New York, and that was stuff that happened entirely organically.
It was wonderful to see that happening in places where we hadn't even made contact ourselves, that there was a ripple effect, that people were finding out about the project and starting to do their own things.
I think there's more to come.
We're looking to the future and how we can unlock that potential.
We hope that we can continue to fly that flag at key moments related to human rights, so that over time, Ai Weiwei's beautiful flag can become synonymous with human rights, and that it can be flown to celebrate places and spaces in which human rights are protected. And should there be moments where that is not the case, it can also be flown as a symbol of recognising that and protesting that.
We're going to be working with arts organisations and human rights charities over the next 4 years, building up to the 75th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
The aim is to have this to be the rainbow flag for human rights. Let's fly it across the world, not just when the events are human rights related. Let's be proud to put it on public buildings, on our own homes, wear it as a badge. Let's let it be a universal symbol that we can all get behind.
Making things as accessible as possible is really important, especially for things like this. If we want everyone to feel like they have a place, to say actually that human right is being violated there.
I normally hate flags. Flags normally exclude me, and they're often used against me. And I've actually really come to like this flag. Because there's that thing about flags always being something that are above you. And I like the fact that it makes you immediately look down and feel your feet at the ground.
I love the flag. I think it's so genius, the sort of the footprint and us all walking in each other's shoes. That's what it feels like for me. It's being empathetic, it's think about other people's perspectives, it's looking after each other.
I drew round my children's feet almost as soon as they could stand up, and I think we all need to know that that is our first touch on the earth. You know, we have a right to make that footprint on the earth, just as we have a right to life. But rights aren't easily given. Nobody in power is going to say, yes, of course you can have these rights. They make it so much easier for us to pay you more, not infringe your brakes or your safety, or not burn you alive. They have to be fought for and they have to be held on to. But I think we should remind ourselves, and that's what the flag does so beautifully, that they are as fundamental to us as our first footprint on the earth.